All processes that attract a payment will have a system-generated invoice or invoices, as well as the accepted payment channels to be used. As such, you should not make any additional payments to facilitate the processing of your application. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the tutorial for vesting order on the Ardhisasa platform. A vesting order, by definition, is a judicial directive to effect the transfer of property ownership in circumstances where a court has determined that one party is entitled to said ownership over another party involved in the legal dispute. Once a court grants vesting order, the party who obtained it is entitled to take steps to register it on title. They'll need to reach out to a registered advocate who will initiate this transfer process on their behalf on Ardhisasa. In this video, we will cover the transfer application process end to end, largely from the perspective of the advocate, featuring all the necessary information and documentation required. To begin with, you'll access our platform on your preferred browser. On the landing page, click on the login feature at the top and you'll be navigated to the login page. Key in your Ardhisasa ID or national ID number, enter your password and then click continue. Upon doing so, you'll be provided with a one-time password code, an OTP, which will be sent to the phone number used to register with on the platform. Once you have received the OTP, type the code onto the OTP prompt box and then click Login. You'll then be navigated to the dashboard, where you'll find a number of services listed under the departments we have in the State Department for Lands and Physical Planning. At this point, the account you're logged in with is your private account. For you to initiate this process, you will need to switch to your advocate account. So go ahead and click on the profile icon. It will display a drop-down menu with the professional account which has been approved for you. Switch to the mentioned account and you'll be able to proceed with the process. For more information on how to upgrade to a professional account, check out our YouTube tutorial explaining the same through the link featured in the video description. On the dashboard, navigate to the land registration section and click on Transfer. Here, you'll find various transfer services. The one you're applying for is vesting order, so go ahead and click on it. You'll be directed to the applications page, and here, there are a number of tabs provided. There's pending, ongoing, completed, rejected, and cancelled. All the applications that you have initiated will be listed among the tabs provided, depending on the level of processing of your application. The pending tab features applications that you initiated but did not complete. It or they still need some action from your side or from the parties involved in the applications. The ongoing tab features applications which you have submitted and have been forwarded to the ministry for processing. The completed tab features applications which have been approved by the relevant ministry officials. The rejected tab is for applications that have been rejected by the ministry officials for one reason or another. The precise reasons for rejection are communicated to you on the application. And the Cancel tab is for applications which have been cancelled by the different parties involved in the application process. For you to initiate this application, you will click on the New Application button on the top right-hand corner. Please note that if you have not switched roles beforehand, the New Application button will be unavailable. You'll then be navigated to a page with FAQs, which is the frequently asked questions specific to this process. You can go ahead and explore the FAQs to get an understanding of various aspects of the application, that is, the actors, the payments required, etc. If satisfied, click on Next. The next section is the Proprietorship Details. You'll first be required to fill in the parcel details. Go ahead and enter the parcel number in the format registry/block and then the block number with no spacing between / the parcel number. You'll also enter the specific court case number which this application is associated with. Consequently, enter the application details and as you can see, it is the party to whom the property is being vested. Select the applicant's holding type, which could either be sole, joint proprietorship, or proprietorship in common. In this scenario, we'll go with sole. You'll then enter the Ardhisasa ID of the applicant, who, as a matter of emphasis, ought to have been registered on the platform. Upon doing so, click on Search. A pop-up box will appear requiring you to select the category of person to execute as the applicant. It can either be the applicant executing on their behalf or an attorney executing on behalf of the applicant. If you choose the attorney option, you'll key in the power of attorney entry number in the format registry, /the entry number, /the month of registration, /the year of registration, and then click on Search, and the power of attorney entry number will be listed underneath the search bar along with the Ardhisasa ID. You can reach out to the customer care desk to confirm your power of attorney entry number. A ticket will be created for you and you'll get a notification on your SMS as well as on your account confirming the correct entry number. In this tutorial, we'll choose the Self option and then click on the Save button. The name of the applicant will be listed below and the name of the person executing on behalf of the applicant will be listed on the right. A key thing to note is that in case you entered the wrong Ardhisasa ID of the applicant, you can click on the Remove button and correct your mistake. The next part requires you to enter the names of the party or parties captured in the court order as well as the identification numbers. So kindly do so. And then click on the Add button and the details will be listed underneath. If you are satisfied with the information you've captured on this page, you can click on Next and you'll be navigated to the Vesting Order Details page. Here, you'll first enter the nature of interest to be transferred, and in our case, it is leasehold. Also select the date that the court order was made. The next part is the Pickup Person details. This is the person to pick up the title after the transfer process has been finalized. So proceed and enter the Ardhisasa ID of the individual, then click Search, and the details of the person will be listed below. Then proceed to the law firm details, where you'll provide the details of the law firm that you're acting under. You have the option of tying the application to a registered law firm on Ardhisasa, where you'll type in the Ardhisasa ID of the law firm and then click on Search, and the law firm details will automatically be populated. However, in our case, we will manually key in the law firm details. As far as the website and the street address are concerned, they are not mandatory fields to fill. However, you can provide the information required if applicable. You'll then move on to additional provisions, where you'll add additional information or provisions that the transfer is subject to, if any. Next up is the valuation details. Specify whether the property in question is developed or undeveloped. In this case, it is developed, and provide the type of development as well. You'll then proceed to the stamp duty details. On this section, kindly select on whether to apply for exemption of stamp duty or not. Exemption of stamp duty is gated by an act or a legal clause. If you choose to apply for exemption, you'll select the particular section or legal notice under which the exemption is being sought. The default choice is section 17. We also have other section, where you'll enter the particular section and the chapter under which you are seeking the exemption. We also have the option of legal notices, where you'll enter the legal notice number as well as the date of the legal notice. In this demonstration, we will be seeking exemption of stamp duty under section 17 of the Stamp Duty Act. You can also provide additional details concerning either of the respective choices you made above in the text box provided. If satisfied with the information and selections you've made on this page, you can go ahead and click on Next. And you'll be navigated to the Documents page, where you'll upload the required documents. As you can see, there are 3 documents to upload. There's the application for adjudication of stamp duty, the court order, and the court judgment. A key thing to note is that the document should be uploaded in either PDF, PNG, or JPEG formats. In each instance, click on the Choose File button to upload a scanned copy of the respective documents, and the documents will be listed against the Choose File button. If you have any other documents which you feel will be relevant during the processing of your application, you can click on the Additional Documents text box, type in the name of the document, Upload the document by clicking on the Choose File button, and the document will be listed on the right. You can attach several documents in this section, one at a time. If you're satisfied with the documents you've submitted, to facilitate the application process, you can proceed and click on Next. The last step is the confirmation step with all the details that you've provided. Scroll through the entire page and go through the details. If satisfied, you can go ahead and click on Submit. You also have the option of going back if you need to edit any information. We will proceed and click on Submit. Upon doing so, you'll be prompted to approve on whether you indeed want to submit the request, and then proceed and click Yes. A confirmation message will appear on a pop-up box affirming that the application has been submitted successfully, then click on Close. At this point, you'll have automatically been redirected to the Invoices section of the application details page, and as you can see, you are required to pay the transfer fee or the registration fee amounting to 520 Kenya shillings. However, it should be noted that the payment of this fee is not exclusive to the advocate. The applicant will receive a similar invoice, and any of the two parties can pay for it. To view the invoice, click on the View button, a drop-down will appear, click on the first option. You'll be able to see the invoice, which is unpaid, as well as the constituent fees. In this case, the advocate is paying the fee. As such, navigate back to the invoice, click on Pay. You'll be provided with the available methods for payment, as well as the procedures to be used. Proceed to pay with your preferred method, and once you do so, you'll be automatically navigated to the application details page. A key thing to note is that you can view the progress level of your application on the progress bar, as is featured on the upper section of your screen upon the first submission of your application. With most of our application processes, all the parties involved have to verify and append their signatures, and at this point, the parties in this transaction will have received a notification both on SMS as well as on email, prompting them to do the same. On the execution section, the advocate is required to either accept or reject to represent the party or parties listed. If you wish not to represent, you can click on Reject, and the party will get a notification that the advocate has declined to represent, and they'll have an option of selecting or adding another advocate to represent them. In our case, you, the advocate, will choose to represent the party listed. The last part is the Add Signature section, where you'll append your signature. There are a number of options on how to do so. To begin with, there's the signing area here, as you can see, which allows you to sign with your computer mouse if you're using a desktop or a laptop, and alternatively, with a stylus pen or your index finger if you're using a phone or tablet to access the platform. You also have the other option of signing with another device. Upon clicking on this option, a pop-up box will appear displaying 4 alternative options for signing. For more information on the available signing options on Ardhisasa, kindly view our YouTube tutorial explaining the same through the link featured in the video description. In this case, you will sign on the signing area. To do so, place the mouse cursor in the area, press and hold the left click button, and then go ahead and append your signature. If satisfied, click on Save. However, if not pleased with it, there is the option of removing it by clicking on Clear and then appending the signature once again to your liking. There is a pop-up notification that will appear requiring you to affirm that you want to submit this as your signature. Click on Yes. In doing so, you, the advocate, will have completed your role by consenting to the application. However, the other involved party, that is, the applicant, will need to do their part in verifying the application as well. It is key to note that the advocate must be in communication with the party or parties involved throughout the verification process for ease of operations. Once the party has logged in, they'll navigate to the application in question, and an OTP prompt box will be displayed with a Get OTP button alongside it. There is a Cancel Application button on the top right corner of the screen, which allows the party involved to cancel the application at their own discretion if they do not approve of or are not aware of the application. Additionally, below the OTP prompt box, there's a disclaimer for the party involved. It instructs them to only enter the OTP code if they authorize the application made on their behalf by the advocate involved in the process. So if the individual is aware of the process and approves of it, they'll click on the Get OTP button and an OTP code will be sent to their phone number. After receiving the OTP code, the individual will then key in the exact code received onto the OTP prompt box and then click on the Verify button. Upon doing so, a pop-up box will appear affirming that the OTP has been successfully verified. So they'll go ahead and click on Close. Below the OTP verification section is the execution section. Here, the party verifying this application can change the advocate representing them at their own discretion. Upon clicking on the Change Advocate button, the individual can enter the Ardhisasa ID of the new advocate to represent them, click on Search, the identification details of said advocate will be populated underneath, and then click on the Change Advocate button below. That advocate will then get a notification prompting them to accept or decline representation. In this case, the party will not be changing the advocate, and thus they'll navigate to the Add Signature section where they'll append their signature. The flow of operations in signing is the same as highlighted earlier on with the advocate. As mentioned earlier, the advocate and the party or parties involved in this application ought to be in active communication during the verification process. As such, once the party or parties has done their bit, the advocate will be notified and they'll navigate to the application status page on the platform and refresh it. As you can see on the application verification section, the party involved has verified on the application. At this point, the application will have been forwarded to the collector of stamp duty for stamp duty adjudication and assessment. As you can recall, we had applied for stamp duty exemption under Section 17 of the Stamp Duty Act. Therefore, if the collector determines that the application therein meets the necessary requirements, as is the case in this, they'll approve it. In case of the contrary, the collector will forward the application to the Valuation Department for stamp duty determination, after which an invoice will be generated on the accounts of the parties involved, prompting either of them to pay the featured stamp duty fee. If we hadn't applied for stamp duty exemption, the application would have been automatically forwarded to the Valuation Department for stamp duty determination, leading up to the generation of the respective invoice on the accounts of the parties. The Submit Request button will now be active, allowing you to submit the application to the State Department for processing. So kindly click on the mentioned button. A pop-up box will appear, requiring you to confirm whether you want to submit the request. Click on Yes, and you'll receive a pop-up notification confirming your submission. Your application will have transitioned to the Ongoing tab, meaning that the Ministry officials have received it and will be working on processing it. Once the application has been approved, the parties involved will receive a notification confirming the same. Upon accessing the application, you'll be directed to the Invoices page, where you'll find an invoice for title fee payment. This is the fee paid to facilitate the production of the title document. So go ahead and make the payment using the available payment options. After making the payment, you'll be redirected to the Application Details page, and evidently, the application has been approved. Additionally, the concerned party, that is the pickup person you entered, will have been notified to collect the title from the registry offices. That's it for this tutorial on vesting order on Ardhisasa. Feel free to give feedback on this tutorial in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell button to get notifications on new videos as and when we post them. Kindly follow us on our social media handles as well. That is at Ardhisasa_KE on X and Instagram, and at Ardhisasa on Facebook. Thanks for watching and goodbye.